Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Blue Bud Wisdom Show, a podcast created to share simple tools to break you free from the mind chatter, reclaim your divinity, and support your journey to freedom and happiness. I'm your host, Ellyn Katherine S1, spiritual wealth catalyst and healer. Now let's jump into your dose of ancient wisdom.
Hi everyone. So I am going to share a very, very important, one of the very important life lessons. I mean, I know I say that in all my audios, that they're all important life lessons. And if I look back and just think about having one versus the other, it doesn't work that way. These life lessons that I constantly talk about are all intertwined together, but they form under categories to make it easier for you to understand where your path is and what mostly needs to be looked at so that you can really work out what's going on in your life, what challenges you have, and how to be able to transmute them with your gifts and your talents. This life lesson that I was clearly guided to talk to you about today is about divine guidance. And the reason why I was so guided to talk about this is because I've experienced divine guidance for a very, very long time in my life, but I never actually gave much attention to the signs as much as I have lately. And I'll give you an example. So, as I have been talking about my program, I've been talking about how I'm working to put it all together. I know in the back of my mind what I want it to convey, but putting it together in a program makes it much stronger for me to be able to deliver it without missing anything, right? Because there's a lot of people that are just doing it on a whim, a lot of people that are over planning, whatever they're doing. The point is that I'm doing it in a way where I can deliver it with all the information that I have learned and used to be able to get to where I am now, to get to the transformation that I've experienced. And that was like a huge, huge stepping stone in where I'm going next. So today, as I've been connecting the dots, it just wasn't something that I planned. It just happened. What I realized was I was clearly being guided by my angels, my guides, whoever you feel called to connect with. But they were helping me because I asked them for it yesterday. So I don't know if you've heard of this, but there's a saying, ask and you shall receive, right? The angels are here to help you, but they won't interfere unless you ask them for help. And even when you ask them for help, they won't interfere all the way. They will try to point you in the right direction. They will try to give you some kind of signs. You could see numbers and it could mean certain things. It could be signs, maybe something's not working that you wanted it to work, and that's an example that I'm going to show you today. Or it could be something else. But being open to receiving these messages and signs from your angels is really going to help steer you in the right direction. So for example, with me today, out of nowhere, I got inspired to look at something that I haven't looked at in a while on my computer. And as I opened it and was looking through it, my mind started going into a different direction and thinking that I could find the source of what I was looking for in an email. And for whatever reason, when I went into that email or into that email account, it just froze on me. And I thought, that's really strange. Let me try it this way. And I tried to exit out, and I noticed when I was exiting it out, it was not giving me a problem when normally it would. And I exited out and tried again, just to see maybe it was something that I clicked on accidentally and it was taking too long to load. So I reloaded the website And I saw that it did the same thing. I said, okay, this is clearly a sign for me not to go here. All right, tell me, where am I going next? I literally asked that. And I thought to myself, this is obviously not where I'm supposed to go. So tell me, where am I going? And all of a sudden, there I got more of the hits, I call it, of where I'm going next. So I was told to go here, to go there, and boom, everything just came together. And I thought this was really, really important because it was clearly an answer to my questions that I've asked over the last couple of days. And I want to emphasize how important it is to hear or to listen or watch or recognize, observe, be aware of everything that you are asking for and everything that you're getting answered. So this is really important to understand because divine guidance is going to be given to us in different ways. You will get the divine guidance when you ask for assistance in something. You will get the divine guidance in a form of a intuitive hit, you can say, right? That could be your guides or your higher self talking to you, and it sounds just like you, your voice in your mind. It'll be kind of like the inner dialogue I was talking about, but it'll just be like, hey, why don't you check this out? And then once you take that action, you'll get the next step. You won't get all the steps in one shot, and you won't get the overcome and say, hey, if you go on to this website, you're going to get this, whatever you're looking for. That's not the way it works. You ask a question, you allow that question to get integrated, because sometimes they won't answer it right away, or sometimes they will. It just depends on whatever the circumstances are. Also, asking the question and letting it go, allowing it to unfold and let the answer come to you, is another very important step in the process. So you ask the question, you wait. You wait, meaning you let it go, you go do whatever you have to go do, you don't even think about this topic anymore, and then when the time is right, you'll get all of a sudden a thought or an epiphany or something that will come up, and it'll truly resonate with your body that you're going to be like, oh my God, I have to go do this right now. Okay? That's taking the action. So once you take that action, whatever it is, the next step is going to come. They will give you the next step. And then once you take that next step, you'll have the next step after that. And then whatever it is that you're looking for, you will start to see is coming into life because of what you asked for. Now, this doesn't work with everything, because if you ask them for $1 million, they're not just going to poof, give you $1 million. It doesn't work that way. But what they will do is give you what you need at that moment to work out maybe why you don't have the $1 million. But it really comes down to, are you listening to the steps that you have to take? Are you taking action on your intuitive hits, on the guidance? Are you really observing what is going on so that you could continue down your path without overthinking and analyzing and worrying about it? So divine guidance is so, so, so important, because we did not come down here alone. We came here with full support of our family, star beings, angelic realm, whatever, with our family guiding us. Our guardian angel, the angels around us are always there. You can't see them, but know that they are there, and they are waiting for you to talk to them. They're waiting for you to ask them for guidance. They're waiting to hear from you, because they are there to support you. They want to support you. That's why ask and you shall receive is such an important concept. It's not even a concept. I don't even know what kind of word to use for it, but it's really important, because it lets you be open to receiving guidance from forces that you can't see or hear or or sense, really. You couldn't sense them if you are that empathic. But most of the time, like for me, for example, when I was a child, I never saw them, but I really felt. I knew. It was like a clear knowing. Like I knew that they were around me. I knew I had spirits and angels all around me. I talked to them. I used to ask them for whatever I wanted. And whatever it was, like I literally, I did not see them, but it was just a clear understanding that there were spirits and guides around me, and they were my friends. They weren't there to hurt me. And it made it more prominent when they would do certain things to let me know that they were there. And when I felt that they were there and they were trying to make a more clear presence to show me that they were there, that's when I just started getting scared because I didn't understand it at that moment. So now I have the knowing that they're there. I'm empathic and I can feel certain energies. I just don't feel their energy, and that's not important. So I'm letting you know that it's not important to feel their energy. What is important is to know that you have the guidance and that they're ready to assist you whichever way they can. But just know that certain things that we ask guidance for, they're being answered in their own way. You're not going to hear the answer right away because you're too attached and you're not allowing it to flow. That's why I said letting go is really, really important. Because once you let go and you allow your mind to go elsewhere and not overthink the process, you're opening the flow to the divine feminine and the guidance to flow through you, and then to come out and say, all right, well, boom, here's the intuitive hit. And it'll just literally be out of nowhere. That happens to me all the time. I call it epiphanies because that's the best way I can describe it. But I know that they're really answers to the questions I've been asking. So when I say epiphanies, that's what I mean. And the other part of it is really understanding that when you ask these questions and you're looking for the answers, not to be disappointed that you're not getting the answers immediately, or you're not getting the answers that you thought that you were looking for. It's not going to just come out and say yes or no. It's really a practice of asking, allowing, opening yourself up, and then just taking the actions that you are getting, not right away, but randomly. So, for example, like I mentioned that example earlier, last night, before I went to bed, I connected with my guides and my angels. I requested for assistance and guidance in the next movement in my program, and for more of the connection, because I really felt that there was like a connection I was making to something, and I didn't know if I was blinded to it or whatever. So I just asked for a guidance in seeing that, and I let it go. This morning, I wasn't even planning on doing anything about the program. I was doing something totally different, and all of a sudden I was guided to look something in my computer that I haven't looked at in a while. And then, like I mentioned earlier, A went to B, B went to C, C went to D, and it was just like a one. Even when my mind was trying to take me into a different direction, the guides were clearly, no, this is not what we want. This is not, whatever you're doing right now, stop. Right? Because I told you my email account just froze randomly. And usually when a computer freezes, or you have that like little circle that's saying that it's loading for a long time, it doesn't usually let you close out of tabs. At least it doesn't for me. And this time when I moved my mouse around and I saw that when I was close to the exiting of that tab, it actually stopped from loading to an arrow. So that was like clear guidance for me. Yes, get out. So I did and reloaded, and it still happened again. So I was like, all right, fine, I got it. This is not where I'm going. So then I continued to ask for more guidance. And at that point, because I was already in the shoes of taking action and doing what they were telling me to do, I was being guided immediately to the next step. And sometimes that will happen and sometimes that won't. If you're guided to take the next step immediately, then do it. But if you're not guided with the next steps and you're overthinking what's going to happen next, stop what you're doing, do something else, and then you'll be guided again. I really hope that this was somewhat insightful for you. There's so much to talk about when it comes to divine guidance that I can't possibly put it all in one episode. And there's also involves practice, and it involves deciphering the voices. You know, when I always talk about the inner dialogue, I talk about the voices, I talk about all these all this constant, talk about ego and the personality. So it's really important to understand the voices that are speaking to you. The inner dialogue is not that you're crazy. It's inner dialogue that everybody has, and maybe not admitting to it, but everybody has it. So it's really, really vital that you are in tune with what those voices are, and you are in tune with how to connect with the higher self voice and how to connect to your guidance. And that's all stuff that I teach in the Goddess Unleashed game program that I'm putting together, which is why I said there's so many pieces when it comes to divine guidance. But what I gave you now in this episode is the starting point for you. And I really hope that you can take that information. And if you have questions, please feel free to message me, email me. And, as I get the emails, I will respond via email or on the episode, whatever I feel is the best way to give you an answer. And so I'm going to close it off here. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Ask your angels, talk to them. They're waiting for you, and just connect with them, and you'll see amazing things opening up for you. Lots of love to you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and until next week, bye.
Thanks for joining me this week on the Bluebud Wisdom Podcast. Make sure to visit my website, ellynkatherine.com, where you can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, or via RSS so you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, be sure to take a moment and give me a 5-star rating on iTunes and share or tell your friends about the show. I'd love to share the wisdom further, and your help will make that happen. Be sure to tune in next week for my next episode.